How to grow your audience without getting personal. Can I get personal with you a second? One thing that people think when they come to create content is that they have to share everything and anything about their personal lives. But actually, if you want to be known as the leader in your industry, you don't have to share everything and anything, especially if you're not comfortable with it. In my content, I don't really share much about my personal life. People might know that I have a family and that I have a husband, and I share little anecdotes and stories, but nothing too personal. I don't really want everyone knowing the ins and outs of my personal life, and so I keep that out of my content. The problem is people think that you have to share personal stuff because they see other people sharing personal stuff and they see the results that that gets them. They see people sharing personal stories on LinkedIn or on Instagram, and it gets loads of likes and loads of comments, and they grow their audience and they think, oh, well, I have to do that too. And it's understandable if you think that and other people think that way, but you really, really don't. And actually, sharing personal stories and sharing too much personal information about yourself can actually be off-putting to your potential clients. If you want fame, if you want to be famous, if you want a huge audience of people that just follow you, if you want ad revenue from that audience, then that's great. You can share personal stuff and that can work really well for you. But if you want to actually make sales of your business products and services, sharing personal information, especially when you're not comfortable with it, isn't the best way to actually get you leads and sales. Yeah, it might get you likes, it might get you comments, your friends might like it, your peers might like it, but that's not going to pay the bills. So in this video, I'm going to talk you through exactly how you can create content that isn't too personal, but still builds that trust, still gives you that personality that helps you make a connection with your audience. So the first thing you're going to want to do with your content, if you don't want to make it too personal, but you want to have personality, is to think about the tone of voice of your content. It's to think about how you sound with your clients and emulating that across your content. So if you're quite sweary in nature, that's okay. You can swear in your content if that's how you are with your clients. If you use certain phrases, if you word things a certain way, make sure your tone of voice comes across. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to put on a tone of voice that doesn't feel natural to you. What I always say is that you should use the same tone of voice that you use with your clients. But for us, for example, with our clients, we'll laugh, we'll joke with them, we'll say funny things, we'll tell stories, we'll be open and honest and transparent and all those kind of things. We'll be quite blunt with them. And this can come across in our content as well. So we make sure that we use the tone of voice that we use with our clients. We don't just come across as stiff and professional and all those kind of things. We make sure that we're actually emulating how we talk to our clients within our content. And this can really help build a personality and help you people build a personal connection with you. Yeah, you're not sharing anything personal, but you are showing who you are in your personality, and that can really help you build a bond with your audience. Number 2, sharing business stories, sharing your successes, sharing your failures, sharing things that you've learned, all your experiences. When you share stories in your content, you help build a connection with your audience, and you don't have to be too personal. You don't have to share personal stories if you don't want to, but you can share things that you've learned. So you could say, you know, we had this client, they were here, and then we worked with them, and then we managed to get this thing, you know, or I had this mindset and it wasn't right, and because of it, I kind of failed at this thing, and this is what I've learned from it. You know, you can share those stories in your content. You can build really good connections with your potential clients, but you don't have to be too personal with it. Most of the clients that we work with only share kind of business stories, business experiences, things they've learned, their failures, all those kind of things, their successes. They don't actually talk too much about their family or their personal lives because they don't have to. Their value speaks for itself and people really connect with that. Number 3, having fun in your business. Now, you don't have to share personal things, but that doesn't mean that you can't have fun in your business. If you look at someone like Richard Branson, particularly when he was first starting with Virgin and the things that he did to actually gain attention for that brand, I wouldn't know about his personal life. I wouldn't know what he had for breakfast. I wouldn't know about his family or any of those things, but I did know about him and his personality. I did get a sense that he was fun. He was a bit of a maverick. He was here to stir things up, and he did so many things in his business that really kind of connected with his audience and helped them understand who he was. So I remember when he had a massive blimp going across London because one of his competitors, British Airways, was sponsoring the big London wheel, but they couldn't actually get it to tilt up. So Richard Branson had a big blimp across London that said BA can't get it up. Now that really showed his personality without him being too personal and sharing anything about himself. So you can have fun in your business. You can do things that are really funny or that help connect with your audience that don't have anything to do with you personally, but are fun in business. Number 4, the frustrations that you have with your industry. Now, sharing the frustrations you have with your industry is a really helpful thing to do for you to connect with your audience, because what you're doing is you're helping them understand what's wrong with your industry and helping them see, actually, this is what I need to avoid. They're also building so much trust with that. They come to like you, they come to trust you, they've come to see you as something different than others in your industry. And yeah, you're not sharing anything personal about yourself, but you are saying, this is how I am different from others. So you're highlighting what's wrong with your industry, you're saying what frustrates you based on your experience, and you're saying, you know what, I'm not like these people, I actually stand for something different. So by sharing the frustrations with your industry, you actually position yourself as an authority, someone trustworthy, someone that people can relate to and like, but you don't have to share anything personal. Finally, the thing to remember is this will be different for everyone. You might want to share a personal story where, you know, your kid was doing something funny at breakfast, and that's absolutely fine. Share it if that's what you feel comfortable doing. The line needs to be there wherever you feel like this isn't right for you. So that is different for everyone, and it's okay where your line is. What I would do is I'd be very clear with myself what the line is for you, where you won't cross, and make sure that you always stay under that. But if you follow the tips in this video, you'll make sure that you build tons of personality, you'll get people to connect with you, you'll get people liking you and trusting you without you having to ever reveal anything personal about yourself. So I want to know from you, does sharing personal information on social media or in your content feel right for you, or is it something that you feel uncomfortable with? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe so you'll be notified the next time we launch a video.